Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we will discuss chapter 9, using three-step writing process for persuasive messages in business writing. So let's discuss its learning objectives first. Students will be able to apply three-step writing process to persuasive messages. Students will also be able to describe an effective strategy for developing persuasive business messages, and they will also identify three most common categories of persuasive business messages, and they will also describe effective strategy for developing marketing and sales messages. They will also explain how to modify this approach for social media and identify steps they can take to avoid ethical lapses in marketing and sales messages. So, what is a three-step process? First of all, we will understand what is meant by persuasive messages. So persuasion means, it can be defined as an in literal meaning, that is to convince someone for something, asking for something of value, asking audience to take action. You are to convince someone. So persuasion means that you are to convince someone to give or to do some work that is beneficial for him not or not, right? Okay? So whatever you will deliver is of some value or not, you are to plan in this way, and you need to focus on this aspect, that how you can persuade your audience via your message. So persuasive messages are such messages in which you have to change people's attitude, their mind, and you have to convince them. It is common perception that persuasive messages are not mostly welcomed, because people get irritated by such messages, or simply they ignore such messages. But sometimes there are such messages about which people are forced to take action. If your message has convincing power, you can achieve your target. Persuasive messages has also a three-step persuasion process uh, in this work. So first of all, as we have already discussed, planning business message, and completing business message. So we will also follow the same steps one by one. So number one is planning the message. So you have to plan a message in business. Without plan, you can never write a perfect message in business. You always want a positive. Why? Because you always want positive response whenever you are communicating with the audience. So having a great idea or a great product is not enough. You need to be able to convince others of its merits. So you need such wording or such merits in your message that can convince people easily. You have to convince people about your product's merits. Unless you don't tell people, you will be unaware. So it is said that an idea can change your mind. So always keep it in mind. It's good to have an idea, but most important point is this, that you can either you can convince people or not in this idea, whatever you are going to present in front of your audience or in the market as well. So planning persuasive message is very important. Planning for persuasion. So first, there are the same points which we have already discussed in the first chapter, that is analyze the situation, gathering information, then you will select the right medium, and organize then the organization of your information. These are the same steps we have read in planning business messages, but here we will see these steps differently, as our basic objective is to convince people. So here we will discuss some different ideas in this regard. So number one is analyzing the situation or analyze your situation. For example, I will clear this point to you people with an example. That is, you have some product, for example, and you want to sell it, and you need an action. Let's suppose that I am your teacher, and I want you to take admission in my college or in my class. And if I have to talk to you, I must have some plan. I and advanced must have some plan in which I can introduce to you or tell you about some advanced standards to convey to you people, which can inspire you enough to take admissions, as it will be beneficial for you. So I will not only describe my own benefits, right ji, or merits for this purpose, but my major focus will be your interest and your beneficials benefits. So similarly, you cannot convince people about a product unless you prove them to be more effective and beneficial for them as compared to yourself. So you are to convince them. You have to analyze the situation, that in which situation you are going to interact with the people, and this situation must be observed keenly, and you need to work on that. Then you can convince people according to your plans. The next, you are to gather information regarding your message. You also need to gather information, and after gathering required information, you have to select the right medium, right ji, to communicate, and you have to organize your information. So analyze this. So in this point, in which you will analyze a situation, unless you understand a person, you cannot give him anything uh, according to his interest and benefits. So remember, no one can persuade anything. Sorry, no one can purchase anything. No one can execute any action for you. For example, I'm your teacher. Again, I'm giving you my own example. I will say that buy this thing from me, as it will be suitable and beneficial for you, and I will get good profit from it. You will say, okay, but why we will buy it, as we will not get any profit or any good from it? You will never buy that product. What I have to do is that I will not focus on my profit, right? So I will focus on your benefits. I will focus on your interest. So as I have already told you, which you will get, and it will also fulfill your needs instead of mine. Major focus is you, because you are my audience. So I have to know first your situation, your interest, and your needs. Then you will buy my product. So we have to see our audience, and in the same way, this situation, okay, the situation of our audience. First of all, we will talk about demographics. So what is meant by demographic? It means to know about audience, that audience age, gender, from where your audience belong, what is his social class. These all comes in demographics. Demographics. So the next is psychographics. Number one was demographics, in which you can know about the audience age, gender, their interest, from where they belong, their social class. And in psychographics, you will come to know that everyone has different attitude, different angle to see things. When we work on this, we can know about the approach, whatever the other person sees, okay, whether he sees things or observe things openly, conservatively, or positively as well as negatively. So it's very important to know a psychological approach of the audience. Unless you don't know about the psychological or psychographics of your audience, your purpose will not hit your target, right? The third is motivation. So motivation is very important element in every thing, especially in business, right? Why he will do work, why we need to know about the motivation. Does the about whom whose motivation, the audience motivation or the other person's motivation to whom we are going to motivate. Does he need money? Okay, if yes, money is his motivation, right ji? According to his class. And if he has money, he wants popularity. Let's suppose that the other person has money, then the next need or motivation is must be popularity. His motivation is fame. If he needs popularity, it means his motivation is fame. When a man gets fame, he wants self satisfaction. In this regard, I can give you example of singers and actors. You have seen them that they earn a lot of wealth and then popularity, and when they get a lot of wealth and popularity, they need self satisfaction. That how they can satisfy themselves. They start helping others in social welfare programs or these kind of social activities. You have seen many actors doing these kind of things. So it is their motivation on which they are working, so they need it. So their motivation is self satisfaction, right ji? They get involved in social welfare, so it's their motivation. So we need to focus on this point, right ji? Then comes purpose. Okay, if you have a fair idea about audience, age, gender, interest, needs, motivation, you should be clear about your purpose, right ji? If you are 100% confident about the previous points which we have discussed, like psychographics and demographics, right ji? Then motivation, then you should be clear about the purpose. You should be clear what you want when a person reads your message. One thing is that comes first, it can be request action. You want a special action, maybe motivation, motivate the decisions. As I say, you should take a decision, right? uh, you should take a decision you are unable to do. Okay, maybe in a situation that my request, my message request is to take the action, and you people are unable to do. I will tell you its long term benefits, that the message that is to persuade you, that has the purpose behind, is your persuasion. So I will tell you short term and long term benefits. So most importantly, people will focus long term benefits as compared to short term benefits. You get motivated and you will be able to take a decision, or I want to. Then if you are very well motivated, right, then you will be easy, you will feel easy to take a decision or then the action, right? Then comes change. I have to change the attitude. Your purpose. Next point is after purpose, to change the attitude. I want to change your viewpoint, okay, or the way you see things. When we will analyze the situation, we should know the age, gender, interest. Yeah, we want to change the next thing, that is attitude, or to make the audience or the other person to do some work. You are to analyze the situation, right? For motivation we will discuss, I can shortly describe you about Maslow's theory of hierarchy of needs. So this is all about living. So man's first need is the survival, means physiologically. that he wants to survive in the society, right? As you can say, okay, if you are going to target a person whose basic needs are fulfilling, he's getting, you can say, things to eat and a place to live, he has clothes to wear and water to drink. So it means your this psychological, physiological, that is related to the needs, basic needs of life. So these all are related to body. Okay, so they are fulfilling, they are getting. So after this, the next is, you can say, safety and security. That means shelter. After getting the basic needs, man comes towards safety and security. It means shelter, home. Do the other person to whom you are going to interact has the shelter or home that should be saved. Then the third point is social interaction with people, that either you have either the other person to whom you are interacting has good terms in the society or with the people. After that, this terms and relationships in the society, it comes the status and esteem. It means that he has fame, wealth, everything is good. But then he talks about status and esteem. After this, he wants self actualization. He wants to revive his name in the world. In this regard, I can give you the example of Bill Gates. He has everything in the world. He has fame, he has earned good popularity in the world. He's the most wealthiest man in this world. So what can be his next target or next motivation, you can say, as we are discussing about motivation? It is obviously self actualization. So what he's going to do, what he's doing in this world, he's spending his lots of wealth on the welfare of the humanity. So he has opened, launched so many welfare programs for the needy persons or the needy countries in the world. So you can say self actualization is a kind of self recognition, right? So it is also motivation, kind of motivation. Until you don't have idea about audience needs, shortly I will come to the point. Until you don't have idea about audience need, you cannot achieve your targets, right? After then comes information, gathering the information. Then when you will gather the information, you will have knowledge, you will have beliefs and emotions. You should know, you should have the knowledge and beliefs, how the other person thinks, and what are the things, and what are his emotions. Definitely, when we take a decision, we have to exploit emotions, uh, because to take a decision, when a man takes a decision, it is automatically that we take decisions emotionally instead of being wise or instead of wisdom. So we should know which types of emotions a man has or your audience has, what are his beliefs and knowledge, and what type of knowledge he or she or your audience has. These types of information you have to collect. When you have knowledge, you will have material to approach a man who is your target, and how you can convey your message. After all this information, gathering the information, you have a fair idea that how you people can do it. uh, is it now after this, uh, what type of medium you can select? So is it electronic mail, you can say social media, personal attention, or technology reach like Zoom meeting or these kind of things as we are doing. So these are all mediums which with which you can convey your message. Put You can convey your message more easily. But you will also know that the man to whom you are communicating, which channel is the most suitable. So this is the very major point and important point which you should know, that the person to whom or the audience to whom you are going to interact, you must be clear about that which type of communication will be more suitable for them to interact. So you will focus on the audience suitability first instead of your own. No doubt you will also see which one is feasible or possible for you, but most importantly you have to see the convenience of the your audience, not your own. So you will choose medium accordingly. When you do all these kind of things, or when you do all these steps, then comes the organization of your message. How you can organize your message, because content is also important, right? The content of your message is also important, it's clear, but the manner in which you present it is the most important and sensitive aspect of your business message. We have already discussed direct and indirect approach. Normally normally persuasive messages are mostly commonly written in indirect approach, and in indirect approach you can set mind and state. Sometimes a direct approach can also be used, but we have to see that what is your authority and relationship, as it matters a lot. So in a direct approach you have to show you attitude. We have also discussed you attitude in the very first chapter, so you must have the idea in the first chapters which we have discussed, where you will talk about other person's benefit, then the limited scope, because direct approach cannot be used everywhere, right? The audience reaction is very important, because when you say something directly to a man, you are to see his reaction. Then comes power or authority. What is your authority? Sometimes you are in a position you can say directly to do something, and you don't need to convince your audience or people, because you have authority, but you can't apply this thing every time. So we have to see that whether our message will be in direct or indirect approach. When you do all these things, then next comes writing the message. For writing the message you are to be very positive. You should use positive and polite language. Then you should respect cultural differences. So what is meant by cultural differences means, if you can say, if you are talking about international communication, right, where you cannot call people by names, you will use some special expressions or words for them, right? You will avoid such expressions that are discouraged by that specific culture or people. So first you should understand culture and their resolutions. Then you will understand corporate cultures. Understand corporate cultures if you are directly if you are doing corporate communication. After that you will establish your credibility. Obviously this is very important point, because it matters a lot, and for this purpose your message should be flawless and error free. Otherwise, having errors and flaws, your credibility must be disturbed. Then how you should enhance the credibility. How you can enhance your credibility? You should use simple language. I told you many times that clear and simple writing can be more effective instead of using long sentences and verbose wording or vocabulary. It can create hurdle for the success or for the target you want to achieve. So you should use simple language, right? Then you will provide evidence. Whatever you are saying, it you can prove it. Okay, you can provide evidence. Then identify your resources. If you have information, so which type of source you are going to use, then you will build a report. Be objective and fair. You will be objective and fair. Don't give subjective or personal view. This is very important. Again, that you will be objective and fair instead of being subjective or personal. You cannot give your own views. Then you will consider your audience. You should also avoid hard sell. You can say there are some people like this who always say sale, like these kind of things. So these are the negative expressions which you will going to put on your audience if you do these things. So this thing can also disturb your credibility. So to enhance credibility, focus on all these steps or guidelines. Then at the end is the point, that is to complete the message. After completing the in this step, you will evaluate your message. Is there something missing, spellings mistake, or is or the content? So you will complete your message and you will evaluate it keenly. Critic design elements. So what is meant by critic design elements? Content is not only important, but its presentation or design is also very important. That which color and spacing is used, which font is used, etc. So these all things you should know very well. Then you will revise the message. After revising your message, you can proofread the message. Then you will ask for advice. You can take any external opinion from someone who to whom you consider that is experienced or much better, or is able to guide you in a more better way. Then at the end you will deliver your message. So these are all the points. Again and again I'm saying that just make your points uh, and prepare your every lecture minutely. uh, Take care ji. Allah Hafiz.